Because
YouTube version. So this is a different Mike Burns.
oh,
Yeah,
was,
not the Mike Burns with
yeah.
the Cobra.
Moon Club podcast number 201. YouTube version is going live now. The podcast will start in about 5 minutes.
I know you're never really cared for Andy Tolman.
Me?
No,
Mike Burns?
Mike.
The other Mike Burns, not.
No,
Yeah, we
the
can't
Mike,
talk about
other
that.
Mike Adelman. I seem to remember anyhow.
There's only one Mike Allen.
That's why
I'm MJ.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm just saying, you don't
I said the other. Yeah, I said the other.
Mike Adelman, I just assume you're talking about my father, not me.
Yeah. Well, I would normally say Mr. Adelman. Because otherwise he probably would smack me or
Let's
something.
not get crazy.
Dude, if I saw your mom today, I'd probably still call her Miss Trainer.
You better.
Yeah.
Because she's still mad about fucking saying she's gonna
Rolling down the hill.
Hey,
My
Jose,
mom's not rolling down the hill!
can you do me a favor and bring my Mountain Dew in for when you
Dude,
come in, please, sir?
Dude, way to call somebody out.
That was fun.
Dude, there's a Diet Mountain Dew, I think, in there on the counter that's mine.
Did you tell MJ when
Was that
I
Diet
showed
or
you?
Regular?
This was the
other
one
day?
that was in the freezer. So
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Did I tell MJ what?
What I showed you the other day when you came by?
Your penis?
Yeah, besides that.
Oh, yeah. He's got was it on the Screaming Eagle or the Hog Ride?
Well, I think it was just while we were coming off, just they took a picture of us.
Yeah. And there's a Six Flags thing, you look into it, it's got like a three-dimensional picture in
You
it.
have it?
Yeah.
Well, not on me, but yeah, I showed it to
Bring it over next time.
I would. It's got us three and my mom's like in the
I
background.
enjoy
and
looking
stuff.
at that.
Yeah, it's a really good picture. It still holds.
Remember Austin's claimed that he figured out that he had gotten fat when he went on the log ride and he took the picture and he looked at the picture after you come off and he's like, why didn't anybody tell me?
I did that again in Chicago. We went and saw Tom Segura. And I deleted the pictures off my phone, but you've still got a couple because they pop up on my computer screen every once in a while.
I remember riding home half naked with about 60 Chicken Littles.
Oh yeah. We were like, let's get some Chicken Littles. I'm like, how many do you want? Like, I don't know. How many can I afford?
I
Like,
know,
I've got
20.
$12 or whatever it
Were
was.
they 50 cents a piece or a quarter? a
Yeah, they
piece?
used to be like 50 cents or something.
Those things are good. I still get those.
Well, they're a lot different now, but yeah, they used to be
You know,
super good.
that Popeye's chicken sandwich is pretty fucking solid.
I haven't had it yet.
Pretty solid.
I ate
bet
Subway
it's all
today
right.
for the first time in a long time.
I had
Subway's always good.
Potbellies the other day.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's 6 o'clock.
Let's do it. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. 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 Go and tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee, who spoke to me in a voice so sweet. I thought I heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name and my heart stood still when he said, Jay, go do my will. Go and tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. You better throw your rock and hide your hand. Working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Gonna tell that long-tongued liar. Gonna tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Yo, you can never touch this, it's just too much substance. I broke through the chains it away with the cufflinks. You can make a scene, but to me, it's nothing. You never match with a breakthrough in fashion. I'll re-stitch the fabric and bring it back surely. Seen you on the shore, you repping the wrong jersey. Nah, I mean, they on the wrong team. Paper chasers screaming out cream. Lord deliver us, you know I ain't giving up. They just wanna live it up, I'll scratch off some 50 bucks. Praise to the silly luck, I gotta keep it 100. Run it, clean how I done it, get it. I operate like City Hall, gotta put my city on. Didn't fit the first time, but I've been growing into it. They all getting giddy gone, it's gone to say I pity y'all. I'm too busy nodding, rather not respond to kitty calls. I can get you quickly on. Watch what you slipping on, girl, what you sipping on. Dog, what you barking about. I'd rather be penniless, making plenty sense. You living in a glass house, high rent, solo. I do it on my own, no YOLO. I never get cut, Kodo, for sure though. Pardon me, my God, I'm calling on them all. Can't stall, I gotta tell them all. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. 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 Don't tell that long-tongue liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut you down. Tell him the God's gonna cut you down.
Peace.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, live from MJ's Lofty Dreams apartment, this is the Moon Club Podcast with AJ, MJ, and SJ. The Moon Club will talk about anything under the moon, no subject will ever be taboo. This episode of the Moon Club Podcast is brought to you by Realtor MJ Allen, Bloomington Normal's premier realtor for the Jewett Home Selling Team at RE/MAX Rising, and I want to be your realtor, and I will out-hustle everybody all day, every day, and then double up on Sunday to prove it.
Faux show?
For show. This is where I do my thing. We're currently in the Loft of Dreams until the studio gets fixed. Good evening, you lovely lunatics. Now I'm going to roll with the state of the moon. It is currently 6:04 p.m. June 23rd, 2020. The moon comes up at 7:35 a.m. and it goes down at 10:50 p.m. It is currently 5% illuminated. It is waxing crescent. It is 379,646,000 kilometers away from us. It's 2 days old, and it is going in the sign of Leo tonight. Leo.
Shout out to Leo Flynn
And Leo Valentine.
and Leo
Leo
Valentine.
Trainer.
Leo Trainer.
R.I.P.
They all got Leos.
Did you see my Father's Day shirt?
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Best ever what?
Well, you have to know,
Oh, DAD.
yeah, you have to know the chords to
Yeah,
know
of course
that
I do.
DAD.
Of
Yeah.
course I do.
And that's very, very thinking.
And
That's
they did
thinking
that
man,
cerebral.
sure.
It's
Very
cerebral.
cerebral.
Buy it for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Someone just sent that to him randomly. He's
Yeah.
been,
Was it from Cassie?
That's from Cassie and Alex, yeah. Cassie told me Sunday when we went to breakfast that she had ordered it, but it was back ordered because of COVID shit.
Did she show you a picture of it?
No, she just said I have a present still coming, and it arrived today. She brought it over.
voila.
Voila.
Shout out.
So I
Shout
put it
out.
on right away.
All kids are
Best-
great.
Are you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
Are you still extra medium?
Smeedy.
Double extra large.
You're not double X.
Double X, yeah.
No shit.
He's double breasted.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. Not just extra large.
Extra large.
Yeah.
That's double extra medium.
Yeah, I just say extra large because it doesn't confuse people.
Right.
All right. The weekly Jason Silva is on artificial intelligence, and this is a topic that we've talked about on the Moon Club podcast ad nauseum. As a matter of fact, I get like calls and texts saying, "Man, you guys are talking about artificial intelligence maybe a little bit too much," and I say,
Right.
"Nay.
Nay.
This is
No.
a topic that is going to become more and more prevalent in our society, and it's something we have to stay ahead of.
And we've been talking
And
about it for years.
there might be a good reason to fear artificial intelligence. I don't claim to know. Elon Musk says, hey, we might want to tread into these waters lightly, and I trust him.
I
So does
trust
Stephen
Elon.
Hawkins, right?
Stephen Hawkins, he said it when he was alive, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here is Jason Silva talking about artificial intelligence like only Jason Silva can. waxing poetic. Cosmic Dick Slinger.
Tripping on acid.
Probably, more likely. The daily grinding of evolution is accelerated by technology, turns out more and more complex organisms with higher rates of energy use and with increasing specialization. Minds are the ideal way to express complexity, energy density, increasing specialization, expanding diversity, all-in-one systems. Mindlessness is what evolution produces. Mindlessness is what technology wants to.
So you
Kevin
hear
Kelly.
people complain
Thank
these
you,
days
Bloomington
that
Public School
everything
System.
is becoming automated. The robots are stealing our jobs. AI is coming. The Terminator scenario, you know? But I think that ultimately people don't really have a reason to be scared, because I think that what artificial intelligence ultimately comes down to, what outsourcing our cognition into the machines is really all about, it's about amplifying the most powerful phenomenon in the universe, which is intelligence. We're finally learning to reverse engineer, distill, understand, reproduce intelligence. Once we can create sentience that is not bound by the bandwidth of our physicality, of our biology, we'll literally be creating a sentience that can upgrade itself. Minds that create minds, computers that build better computers. And at this point, the runaway train that literally is speeding up at an exponential rate will leave everything behind. The human era will have ended. We will have become our creations. They will be our children, but they will really be us. There is no reason to fear this. This is just evolution.
Well, Jason Silva has kind of a Pollyanna view about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, for sure.
It's ironic to think that we're in charge of our own evolution.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the caterpillar doesn't know that it's going to become a butterfly, right?
Yeah.
So are we like in that caterpillar phase as a
Right.
society?
We're
to where
just- yeah.
we're creating this artificial intelligence that right now we might be the caterpillar that's creating this thing that's going to allow us to be such a more great, beautiful species. I would like to think that's what it is, right?
Right.
The caterpillar becomes
We're
the
just here
butterfly.
to usher in the age of AI, and then they will cast us off, like the caterpillar does, or like
Well,
the butterfly does its
the
cocoon.
The AI will start outside of us, but maybe the AI will move inside of us, and maybe we will all be smarter beings, and we will be.
Yeah,
we already are
that,
cyborgs.
That'll happen first, but if we want to travel through the stars, it's going to be AI and sentient beings.
Well, they already have cyborgs, yeah.
We're
that's
already
what
cyborgs.
the Greys are. Have you ever heard that? The little gray aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just like
You're very good at
electronic.
derailing conversation.
Well, I'm just talking about how we put
Actually, I thought that gray aliens, or I thought a lot of alien beings were just humans, and that's the effects that outer space would have on a human body.
Or just maybe
it would
a billion
elongate
years,
us, our eyes
yeah.
would get bigger.
Or evolution, right? So if you think about it, like if we started out as monkeys or whatever you believe, but we were
just say
smaller
primates.
but much stronger, and as we evolve, we don't need our muscles. We use our brains more, so our heads get bigger.
Right.
We use our eyes more because we're constantly looking at computer screens. And then also, if in the future we fuck up our atmosphere, maybe those big ass eyes are actually like
lenses.
like sunglasses that are built in because you can't look at it.
Right.
So maybe the grays or the greens or whatever you want to call them are our future selves. And maybe we're coming back to try to figure out
Yeah.
how we fucked this thing up so bad.
Well,
you
one
know-
thing that you also got to take into account is with gravity, we shrink throughout the day, but in space, we would actually, our limbs would be ganglier,
That's a good
they
point.
would be longer, we would be
point.
sleeker, we
Yeah.
would have less muscle.
I heard the astronaut that spent a year up there was actually 4 inches taller.
Yeah, he had a twin brother that stayed here.
No, that's true.
Here's what happens: is your bone density decreases because you don't have
it is you did get.
you don't have the weight on you, so your bone density decreases and your muscles atrophy.
Right.
So,
Dude, I
and
saw
that's a
this-
real thing when people come back from space. They kind of have to That's why now the space program has when you go up there and you're on the International Space Station floating around, part of your day is weight training. I think
Right.
20% is weight training and cardiovascular fitness.
I can
On the
bench
space
like
station,
1,000
40%.
pounds in space.
I guess on the space station, I heard they got this R&R time, where they give them 15 to an hour a day, and I think that's probably when they masturbate. As a matter of fact, I saw this one.
They have blow-up dolls. They have conjugal visits with blow-up dolls up there.
No, I don't think they have blow-up dolls, because if fucking water floats, can you imagine what a blow-up doll would do? You'd have to be chasing that thing around
Oh yeah,
the
you
space
could just
station.
you could just fuck a glass of water.
Strap
Yeah.
it to yourself.
Wow.
There you go. And you just be rotating in space.
There
you
we
know,
go.
one
There we
thing
go.
is,
Hey, you might want to wash that towel with the dog blankets. Yeah.
Exactly. Dogs in space.
Dogs in space.
Remember
Well,
Pigs in Space?
Pigs in space was
Well,
awesome.
you know what? There was actually dogs in space before there were humans.
Yeah. Well,
There was a dog.
monkey. Yeah,
No, there was
yeah.
Russia put a few dogs up there. They got a
Did they?
whole, dude, they got a
Sputnik.
whole like
Sputnik.
space museum of animals they sent in space. Even a fucking giraffe.
Now,
That's in a giraffe.
They sent a giraffe in that.
have you watched the new
think.
Netflix series called Space Force?
I haven't started watching it. I don't have the courage.
Why?
I don't, because I take that shit seriously and it's kind of a comedy.
Well, it is a comedy, but they it kind of comes out that they had sent a dog up in space, a dog and a monkey up in space.
Together?
Yeah, but with no plans of returning them, and
Yeah.
so they had to ask the dog and the monkey to go and do some work on this new thing that they'd spin up there, and they're like, "Where's the dog?" And they're like, "The monkey ate the dog."
Oh shit! Was it a chimpanzee?
I probably was a chimpanzee.
Because
Yeah.
those are mean. Those are mean fuckers.
Well, hey,
strong,
if you
6
left a
times strong as a
chimpanzee and a
human.
dog without any
plan.
food, yeah,
Yeah. It's like,
what do you think's gonna
okay, you
happen?
know what? I might watch that now.
One fucked up hybrid.
Okay. Have we got something on video that we were gonna watch?
Have we got something on video we were gonna watch? Well, that's a hell
I've
to
got
the end.
this. D.L. Hughley had a little bit of an incident, and I honestly hope, this seems to me like it might have been a stroke or something.
Have you heard
I
any
don't
follow
know.
up? Yeah.
No, I haven't. But he's on stage, and I think this is at the it's at the Tempe Improv.
Oh, it's Zanies, I think.
Yeah, the Zanies Tempe Improv. Or you're right, it's Zanies in Tempe. It's not Tempe Improv. You're right. Sorry.
I just know it says Zanies right there.
Right.
We've been in quarantine so long, when we came back, remember everyone wanted to get rid of Mexicans, they call it,
Now I don't know how well the people at home can see this, but the guy that's going to come in stage right now is his personal bodyguard.
Yeah.
So
Because you know what,
he
his-
saw something. He saw something happen.
His speech
Yeah,
is
I'm
stammering.
not sure what he just
Dude,
said.
he might be epileptic and he might be having a seizure.
Something definitely happened, and all the best. I hope D.L. Hughley is all right, but something definitely happened here that wasn't
Excellent
right.
comedian.
All right, let's check it out.
they were immigrants.
And he's moving his head to weird sides too.
But yeah, that guy caught him because he
That
hit
guy's
the ground.
Yeah, that's a seizure. That's a seizure for sure.
So not sure what happened to D.L. Hughley, but I wish him the best.
Yeah,
and
everybody pray for him.
Full speedy recovery.
Are we gonna do another video, or are we gonna go?
We can go into this if you want. I've got a video of a Karen doing shopping while at a city hall meeting. And
Yeah, play that.
This guy calls her out on it big time. And apparently,
Yeah.
she resigned the next day. So they were talking about, I think it was Robert E. Lee.
Yes,
Robert E. Lee, and I guess they were talking about removing the Confederate statues, and there was I guess I would say,
Town hall meeting.
well, a city hall meeting, and there was a black contingent that's trying to convince them why we need to remove this Robert E. Lee stuff. And while they were all talking about this guy caught her doing shopping on her computer while at the city hall meeting. So he calls her out, and apparently she's done.
Should have resigned 2 years ago when you choked the white man.
Sorry, let's start over.
We'll start at the
ahead.
beginning.
Yeah.
Intended to get up here and talk about how racist Robert E. Lee was, but I'm gonna talk about you, Connie.
Connie?
Sitting over there shopping while we talking about Robert E. Lee. This is a picture of you shopping while we talking about racism and history in this country. Only white members of this board got up while we were up here talking too, because you don't give a damn, and it's clear. But I'm gonna tell you what the slaves, my ancestors, said about Robert E. Lee, since you don't know history, sister. Let me tell you that they said when he got the plantation, after he got off the field where 27,000 people died at Gettysburg, Connie, Robert E. Lee was a brutal slave master. Not only did when he whooped the slaves, he said lay it on them hard. After he said lay it on them hard, he said put brine on them so it'll burn them. That's what Robert E. Lee did. And you set your arrogant self in here and sit on there shopping while the pain and the hurt of the people of this community is on display. Because you don't give a damn, and you should resign. You should have resigned 2 years ago when you choked a white man in his house. You should have resigned 2 weeks ago when you got on TV and said foolishness. And you should walk out of here and resign and never come back, because you are the example of racism in this community. You are horrible.
Did she just get
Now to the rest of the board.
Apparently. I actually did.
You have an obligation to the people of this community. And 81% of them are black. And do you need a Klan rally outside, Mr. Goday, before you end it? Because holding it up means that you put that building in jeopardy. You do, sir. Because all over the country, they burning stuff down.
All right.
And black folks in this city have stood with protesters. I ain't seen you elected officials out there with them, making sure that nothing goes south in Baton Rouge. It's been folks in this community who give a damn. Not just when it's comfortable, but every time. And 4 years ago, we came down here. Mr. Drake, they say you're a good man. Be a good man. Black folks say you're a good man. White folks say you're a good man. Your legacy is attached to tonight, brother. Your legacy. Now, let me say to the black members of the board, it's the most solidarity I've seen out of y'all in forever. Let's keep it at. Let's stand on this moving forward. Because we don't need to apologize for Connie, Evelyn. She showed you who she was when she was sitting.
Now,
So, go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say, let's just say Connie might have had a bid coming up on eBay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like maybe her auction was ending and she needed to make sure she got her bid in or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It looked more like an Etsy website though to me.
Or
I'm
maybe
just
she-
trying to
I think
do
she
the-
was looking at dresses or candles, and it would have been better if her name was Karen, honestly.
Or maybe she was thinking that little black dress that she just bought on Amazon would look amazing in a salmon color.
But seriously, most of that was at least off the cuff because I don't think he expected to catch her.
Oh, and he spoke so well.
He did. Like I would like probably follow that man into battle. I'm
Right,
like, if
right.
he's talking about we're gonna go into war and we're gonna
Yeah.
fuck them, I'm like, yeah,
This-
I believe it, man. I believe it. Let's go.
Yeah, this
Let's
is how
go.
you get shit done.
Right?
You know
If
what I'm
I was
saying?
Connie, I would just would have like faked a stroke right then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why
Just
not? I'm afraid of the big black man.
He looked right at me.
So she basically just quit right there, huh? Like, oh, you got me.
You know what? I had never actually seen that whole video. I had seen
Yeah.
the beginning of it, but yeah, she got up and walked out.
It was
Yeah.
nice to see her walk out though.
Yeah.
Yeah, backside wasn't bad. But caught
I
shopping.
hate that she
while they
went, but
were
I like to watch her
talking.
walk away.
You know what? It's like, check this out. If I'm at that meeting and I'm looking at porn, you got to know who can see your shit. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Like the Bloomington City Council, they sit in a way so that you can't see what's on this shit.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Which is the way to do it.
Or what they're wearing underneath.
Right, but they're Porky Pigging it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you see like our city council members and they're like, check out the jugs on this one right here.
Yeah.
You know that's what they're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
You see that?
Oh.
Austin had also wanted to talk about Bubba Wallace, who is apparently a black NASCAR guy. I don't know. That was a thing,
At least
but
Connie wasn't buying rope.
Are you gonna play the other one first?
yeah. So my retort to that was that Adam Carolla just released a documentary about Willie T. Ribbs, who was the original black NASCAR driver. Like we're talking about in the 60s and 70s. So imagine the shit that he got.
Right, no
if you
shit.
think he would probably laugh. Oh, they threw a noose in his garage.
Right.
He'd be like, oh.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but,
fucking
and-
great.
and
I
I'm
can't
not trying to like
Belittle.
minimize
No.
that.
Yeah. But it's like, I can't even drink out of the same drinking fountain as you.
Right. So here's Willie T. Ribbs, and this is 2.5 minutes long, and this is the new documentary called Uppity because they couldn't call it Uppity what they wanted to.
Right.
And by the way,
Muhammad Ali,
that's
he
what
said to
people
me,
describe him to be.
you're
Uppity
going to
ninja.
deal with some
Yeah.
challenges for one reason only. You're in an all-white sport. In England, I won the Formula Ford Series. No one could beat me.
He came back knowing I just accomplished something that very few Americans have, and no one would give him a shot.
Think about that time period we were in the 70s. There was still a lot of segregation.
I get a phone call from a promoter in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to get some attention down here, and you're the guy that's going to bring it. There was death threats. If this nigger races this race, he might not leave alive.
It probably felt like
Sorry,
it's
I
me
let that
against the
slip a
world.
little.
You
Yeah,
want a
I
reason
did.
not to like
This
me?
is straight from the documentary, so we're not taking any
Our
responsibility.
leader once again, Willie T. Ribbs, out in front. Willie T. Ribbs, his 4th victory in the Trans Am Series. He has a winner of the Texas.
But if you think about it, the way in that the Last Dance documentary, how Patrick Riley was like, if Michael Jordan goes to the rim, he gets knocked on his ass. They're saying the same thing about Willie Ribbs. They're like, if he wins, you don't let him win this race, right?
Yeah.
You fucking knock him out, and he won anyway.
Yeah.
Challenge Trans Am.
If you don't want me in your sport, then beat me. My ultimate goal is IndyCar.
There was a lot of guys on that team that did not want to see Willie in that race car.
I knew he was an executioner.
This actually looks like
It's like I never blown anything.
Yeah, looks like Willie T. Ribbs.
We were out of money and out of everything.
Do you think he'll get in? What do you, I mean, just a gut feel. Are they going to make it or not?
Who threw his money behind him?
Who's that?
Bill Cosby.
There you go.
This guy's getting all kinds of shit.
It's so hard.
I drove him to turn one for qualifying, and I pegged it. I'm either in the race, or you peel me off the cement.
There is no sport more exciting than racing. This is the next best thing to heaven.
True story.
Yeah, it looks like a good documentary,
They
right?
called me uppity, and I loved it.
Yeah. That's a good trailer. I will definitely watch that.
Yeah, dude, I'll definitely watch that too. That looks
Watch that
awesome.
documentary. But this is what Austin wanted to talk about, and this is Bubba Wallace, who, I mean, when I look at him, I mean, I don't think, oh, that's a black man. Like, I guess, but
He's like,
Because we don't see color.
we don't see color, right? That was probably a really stupid thing to say.
But you
okay,
know,
he is a black American,
Yeah.
even though he's like, well, let's just
But-
watch this before I say something.
Well, some places
This is
in the
really
United
stupid.
States-
Can I preface this? This all started because he said, as an African American, a NASCAR driver, he wants them to
Is the
eliminate
great equalizer.
Confederate
the
flag.
Confederate flag from their arenas, and they NASCAR
tracks.
complied, and they're like, okay, you're right, we're not going to allow those in
Tracks.
in any track anymore. But there was like a 2-mile long line of trucks waving Confederate flags. Just a bunch of ignorant people, you know.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't even say ignorant. Like they want to be able to keep their tradition, and maybe that flag means something different to them.
To everybody.
What I seriously hope that comes out of this whole COVID situation is that we just learn to like accept each other and be nicer to each other. Like
Right.
there has to be a way where people who want to fly the Confederate flag can fly it, and people that think that that's a racist emblem, like we have to be able to figure this out, right?
Right.
So here is the Bubba Wallace situation.
Racing is the great equalizer.
In a 500-lap race at Talladega Superspeedway, it was this unforgettable stretch before the green flag dropped
The entire garage area has rallied around Bubba Wallace.
that will likely serve as an enduring image for generations of NASCAR
He's
fans.
overwhelmed.
All in all, we won today. The pre-race deal was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to witness in my life.
An emotional Bubba Wallace, the sport's only black driver, wept on the track as dozens of his fellow drivers and their crews showered him with love and support, pulling his number 43 car to the front of the line after Wallace was the apparent target of a hate crime.
I wanted to show whoever it was that you're not going to take away my smile, and I'm going to keep on going.
The act that sickened the sports world. A noose left in Wallace's garage stall a week after he successfully lobbied NASCAR to ban the Confederate flag. Current drivers and former stars like Dale Earnhardt Jr. speaking out.
There's a lot of people rallying around Bubba, but I don't know that any of us really understands how that must have felt.
The FBI is investigating whether any federal laws were violated as
It is
NASCAR
looking
has
like
launched
he's
its own
somewhere in the
investigation.
mountains or something.
Racing
Right.
legend Richard
He was down,
Petty,
he rolled
who
over
runs
in
the
his grave,
team
he
Wallace
looked
drives
like a
for, called
metrosexual.
what happened a violation of human decency, tweeting in part, There is absolutely no place in our sport
Does he
or
own
our
that car?
society for racism.
Kevin Petty, because
but
that's his
even
old
in pain,
number, right?
a teachable
43?
moment for families.
Is this a tough conversation to have, Mark, with your sons about what just happened in the last several days?
It's very tough, but at the same time, I want to make sure that they grow up knowing the difference between right and wrong.
No one is white, black, brown, or yellow. They are all racers.
And on this day, the different drivers, crews, and racing teams all united by 4 simple words. I stand with Bubba.
All right, so that's...
You know what? That actually makes me like NASCAR.
Former
Just
driver
a little,
Jeff
just
Gordon
a little bit
called
more.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
But can you imagine what Willie T. Ribbs would say if the worst thing to happen to you is somebody threw a noose into your garage?
Well,
Like,
you know
I'm
what?
sure he endured so much
You know
more.
what? It's a completely.
But that's progress, though.
It's a completely different climate right now. You know what? It's like that's probably tantamount to somebody throwing a grenade into Willie T. Ribbs' fucking garage.
Let's be honest, and again, I'm not gonna say anything about anybody's ethnicity, or I'm not going to ask for a birth certificate or say that no, you're not. But he's like Russell Wilson, black, right?
Right. And hopefully, you know, if America is a melting pot, maybe someday we'll all just be...
Like, yeah, everybody.
We can all be just racers.
I wish I had a little bit more caramel color in my skin. I wish I wasn't so pasty.
Of course you do. That's a master race. I used to tell Joe he was a master race because he was like half Mexican, half American.
Yeah.
Like, well, Mexicans are Americans, so.
Yeah. So just think about how ridiculous what you said was.
Right. He had that. A little bit of that melatonin in his skin, which is favorable to me.
Don't get that mixed up with melatonin. That should help you sleep, though.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But only take like between 3 and 5 milligrams. Don't go over that.
Right.
Don't go over that. It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Yeah, so I mean, it was awful, and like you said, it. Who knows what this country's going through right now? There's so many people on this side, so many people on that side, and how can we come together? Who's right? Who's wrong?
Well, here's what bothers me is that all of a sudden now, if you listen to these 24-hour news networks, and I just turn it on just to see what's going on, but
shits and giggles.
Yeah, like if you turn on Fox News, they're like, oh, you shouldn't have to wear a mask. This is bullshit. It doesn't work. And then like if you turn on MSNBC, it's like the completely opposite. Like, man, you can't just be like partisan. You can't be political about everything. There has to be common sense. There has to be a dialogue. And you know what? Sometimes you have to listen to the opposing point, even though you don't think they have a point. Because you might be like, oh, I didn't think about it like that.
All right.
Let me reconsider my point. And if you do reconsider your point, people shouldn't say, oh yeah, he's a flip-flopper. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like, no, maybe he just heard some information that he didn't know about, and that allowed him to change his mind, and that should be considered evolving, not flip-flopping.
You know, it's almost like baking a cake. It's like, you know what? We've got the perfect ingredients to make the perfect Civil War cake. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we keep dividing and not communicating with one another, and we create a dichotomy among two groups of people. It's like, if you're not with us, then guess what?
You're against us?
Yeah.
Well, don't say that though.
That's the tolerance of intolerance.
Right, but if you're not with us, you're against us. That is what.
No, it's the intolerance of tolerance.
Well, he's not saying that that's what he's standing for. He's saying that that's basically still the premise out there, even though Black Lives Matter thing. Which again, I'm not going to be political or jump on anybody's bandwagon or anybody's side or say that one person doesn't have a right to believe or feel a certain way. But then why the hell are you doing the same thing back at me?
Yeah.
You know,
so
and that's the whole thing is, if you're going to ask for all this, then you also have to give all this. It's about giving and receiving and giving the love and receiving love as well as giving love.
Right.
And giving and receiving as well as loving and receiving, giving and loving.
But you know what? I think just like in a relationship, there's steps that you have to go through, and I think we're still in the angry, like just slapped you in the face phase. Now, we need to get past that. We need to start communicating with one another.
What kind of relationships have you been in?
Well,
he's paying for that.
Oh wait, I already know.
He's paying for it. Again, just because that somebody's not on your side doesn't necessarily mean they're wrong. And don't be so high and mighty that you think that your side is so just and that your cause is so just that you oversee everybody else.
I'll take it to an extreme level. That when you're in a war, like let's just say you're in a war, whether it's the United States against Russia or whoever it is, and on the battlefield, nobody thinks that they're fighting for the wrong side, right? Everybody thinks that, I'm fighting for
I'm the good guy,
the right side, right? And those guys are bad, but those guys are just like you,
right?
And they grew up, they had a home, they had a family, and
a mother, a father,
right? And they're like, you have to go and defend the homeland. Well, you know what? Maybe the problem is defending the homeland. Like we're not Americans, Mexicans, Russians, Africans. We are just humans.
Earthlings.
We're Earthlings, yeah. So I think we need to consider like getting rid of these imaginary lines that we've drawn, and like this is where my people belong. We belong in this area. And then anybody that tries to come in is they're foreign. They're invaders. They're less than human. I mean that's how you get to a point where you're able to kill somebody in the name of war. It's like, they're not like us. They're less than human. We're better than that. We're better than that in 2020.
I think it was
damn straight.
I think it was Michael Savage that said, what defines a country is borders, language, and money. And so when they did the Euro in Europe, I think that kind of made them more of a union. It's like, why is everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people so afraid of the one world?
The Brexit was an exit.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's wrong with us becoming a one world community?
Yeah. And eventually we will be, but that's going to take time.
And it was Randy Savage who said, "Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth."
And you know
what? Do you remember the lovely Miss Elizabeth?
MJ,
she was
Steve,
lovely.
Maybe it's more of an anarchy where people develop like different eras. Like it's like say
tastes like French vanilla ice cream.
Say you believe in this, you can move to this country or this part of the world.
Well, if we're going to do that, we're going to segregate each other again.
No, I'm just talking about anarchy where the people can develop their own government and they can develop their own police and they can. It's like. I think that's the way to go.
Isn't that how we got Australia in the first place? Like, let's just send all our outcasts there.
Oh no. That's it's like you need to look at
colony and prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were lepers.
I think you need to research what anarchy means, but I don't want to get into
anarchy is the absence of law and order.
Right, or maybe just people. It's
I am an anarchist.
Instead of legalizing pot, I think they just should have decriminalized it.
Shut the.
It's none of their business.
They can legalize it. It's all right.
No,
don't ask, don't tell.
No, it's just make it not a crime.
Okay, well, it is legal though.
Yeah.
Right, but it would have been better if they just would have decriminalized it.
How would it have been better?
It wouldn't have been better.
But what? Because they could not have collected taxes on it.
That's a ridiculous point to make.
No, they couldn't have collected taxes on it.
Well,
why would you not want to pay taxes on it?
Because it makes it too expensive.
Yeah, but it also goes to help
streets,
the roads,
schools,
the public. Like it goes to.
Dude, do you think in Illinois any of the money they're getting from the tax off of marijuana is going towards our roads or anything that we need?
It's
going off.
Yeah, it's going to all that.
Dude, all those politicians are fucking pulling the cream off the top of that fucking milkshake. I guarantee you they are, and they're going.
Well, I don't know if you know how politics works, but politicians don't get to keep tax money.
No, but there's things going on under the table, brother.
Yeah, like they can raise their salary and stuff like
that. There's hand jobs and there's bonuses.
But you know what? We need to hold them accountable for that. Exactly. Not the fact that
I think we're getting off subject.
Well, the fact that we should have decriminalized. Yeah, okay.
You know what? I actually have. I've watched a lot of videos on it, and it would have been better if they just decriminalized it.
Well,
you can watch videos on any subject and convince yourself that it's right. I guarantee you. I watched enough flat Earth videos that I was almost convinced.
Dude, I know you were, but dude, I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist, and I'm very critical at the way I think.
You're not critical at all.
I definitely use a scientific process when I'm watching videos.
I remember you watching a video and telling me that people were conjuring aliens, and I'm like, well, if that was true, there would be no cuts in his videos, right? Because they're down here on the ground and aliens going to come up, and there were always cuts in the videos.
They're UFO conjurers,
The problem
and
is
they're real.
The problem is that you want to believe, though.
I do want to believe, and I saw the video,
but you
so I
have
know
to
it's
be
real.
critical. So when you tell me that you are critical,
what's that
that's
guy's
where I'm
name?
calling bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you're
What's that
that you're a
guy's
scientist.
That
No,
was humorous, wasn't it?
I'm telling you that I use a scientific process when I'm processing
Scientific
thoughts.
method?
Yeah.
He uses
yeah.
a scientific
Well,
process.
you might
when
think
he's
it's scientific,
processing
but when
thoughts.
you've been drinking since noon and it's 9:30 at night, I'm telling you,
I-
the science probably goes out the window.
You know what? In
he's
my
a
defense, I think
pickleist.
I've been drunk for a week when I bought that video to you.
He's a pickleist. He's pickling his own liver.
There you go.
I stopped drinking.
Well, he's not a quitter. He's not going to stop. It's just like he don't quit crying himself to sleep.
I got this video of protesters toppling this big ass, huge, I guess it's a bronze monument. It doesn't look safe. To me, it doesn't look safe at all. It's only 49 seconds, so let's
Dude,
go.
you know what? They should have.
All right.
They don't break it, do they?
Well, let's
Let's
we're gonna
find
watch
out.
it.
Dude, you know what? They could take the broken one and put it in a Black History Museum. Go ahead, brother.
Apparently some people were injured when that fell too.
I'm like, damn, where my baby at? My baby was under this statue. We pulled that shit down on Tony.
Okay, dude, I get it. This is kind of like the storming of the Bastille, only non-violent.
I mean, they're setting fire to it.
I was gonna say,
You can't catch bronze on fire.
Well, if you watch the video, they were spraying gasoline on it and then lighting it on
Well,
fire.
dude, you know what? Maybe that can go into a Black History Museum, and it's like it'll
You know
be like
what?
all
Here's the
melted and
thing,
shit.
though. Like if we're gonna move past this, why are we gonna have a Black History Museum? Let's just have a history museum. Everybody wants to
I
buy
digress.
shit right
I
now.
call it true history.
True history, yeah. Like we gotta stop talking about black and white. Let's just talk about fucking history. Why is it gotta be a Black History Museum?
Okay. You don't need to play that.
You know what?
Sunshine heading my way.
Exactly. I was gonna say, you know what Morgan Freeman said about Black History Month? He said he doesn't like Black History Month.
Really? What did he say?
He's like, well, why is there Black History Month? He's like, when's White History Month?
The rest of the other 11 months, I guess.
You know, he's like, well, why do we relegate it to 1 month? You know, and it makes sense.
Yeah, no,
I always said
I
that.
understand that. Yeah.
I always said that. Hey, when Morgan Freeman talks, people listen.
No shit, they do.
Now, Andy found out that night.
I'd like to say Andy put up a good fight, but he didn't.
Dude, you know what? You ever heard that the sunrise only existed because Morgan Freeman narrated in his dreams the night before?
I believe.
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
It was beautiful.
Was it Morgan Freeman narrated the March of the Penguins? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it was Samuel L. Jackson.
I think he got Academy Award for that, actually.
narrated the farce of the Penguins.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, the farce of the Penguins.
You know what? I think I did.
Samuel L.
I think I did know about that.
That's awesome. Where the fuck are these penguins going?
Should we try to find it?
You can.
Dude, check this out. Look up true facts about Morgan Freeman.
We're gonna do farce of the penguins.
Okay.
That's what we were just talking about.
True facts.
You
of-
seem jaded, brother.
He has. He's been hurt by you a lot.
We're kind of like we're going one way, and you all of a sudden want to go the other way.
Okay. No, I get it.
Austin's like, look over here. Wait, I'm over here.
Look at me. You go one way, I go the other way. I'll put a shoe so far up your ass.
Whoa, look out.
Last year, they touched your heart. This year, they'll touch you in places you never imagined.
I'm not in the mood. Your sister was in the mood. I'm gonna go see her.
2 penguins
3 different women, 3 years in a row. I can't hold on to them, man.
are on a quest. Everybody got boxed but me. To find love. Penguin love. I can't believe he was in your butt. 1, 2, 3, break time. The cold is making everybody crankier.
Morgan Freeman has more talent than you in just a freckle on his head.
Fuck you, you nutless motherfucker! Starring Bob Saget. It's so cold here, if I had testicles, they'd be up inside my body right now. Christina Applegate.
Had to be nice to meet a guy this year who didn't just want me for my body.
Louis Black.
If you had testicles, you'd be getting raped by a seal.
What? Monique.
The lucky man is gonna get some of this hot butter.
Shake your booty.
Tracy Morgan.
Would you push me just because I'm black?
And featuring Jason Biggs.
I'm gonna get this whole wound pregnant. Is it because my breath smells like ass?
Jamie Kennedy. Norm MacDonald.
Hey, can I join one of your twisters there?
Jason Alexander. Carlos Mencia.
I don't need no stinking women.
That's enough goddamn names. This time around, naughty girl. What happens in Antarctica?
Oh my God, don't stop, just do that.
Stays
I was wondering if they just picked like
All right, I'm
parts out of
done.
their
I'll see you in
roles.
4 months.
Farce of the Penguins.
I might have to check that out.
As told by me. Written and directed.
If they were just like pulling out like parts from like movies they did
It
and put
seemed
them
like
to the
it was just
Penguins.
like kind of like cut together, but
Right.
it's like that's obviously like a
trailer.
full movie trailer,
Full
right?
trailer, yeah.
So they made a movie out of that, and I had never heard of it, and I don't know why, because it's got like
every comedian,
every celebrity.
You know, it
from
was
Christina Applegate.
Dude,
like
if you
2000.
found out all those people were in there, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I mean, I'd do it for free. It's
Well, here's
like,
the thing.
It's a passion
that
project.
You can do a movie like that because you don't have to get everybody together. All you need is audio recordings. You're like, you know, like, hey, read this, read this, send this in,
Just
send
come
this in,
into the-
send this
come
in,
in-
right?
come into the booth, yeah.
Right. It's not like you have to get all those people together. And like they can do that.
You know what? As a good
at
director,
night
though, you
in
gotta
their
get them
own home.
dialed in. So maybe they might want to get them all together.
Oh yeah.
Just
All you gotta
for-
do is send them like the computer, the equipment, the microphone, and say set this up, set this up.
I think this is like
and they
10
can do it
years
from
old,
their
though.
own house.
Yeah, it's a little bit older than 10 years probably.
MJ,
But let's be
check out,
honest, penguins are fucking cool.
Yeah, they are.
They're cool. Happy Feet.
A penguin
great.
walks into a bar. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
Check out on YouTube True Facts About Morgan Freeman, and I think you'll enjoy this.
Name one.
He's a black man.
You know what? I think that is one of the ones they say because apparently, yes, he is a black man.
It's probably one of the most racist things YouTube have ever seen. No, I'm kidding.
We don't want the reaction.
No.
Yeah, just the true facts about Morgan Freeman.
What? Reaction?
It's by somebody named Siegfried or something.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
That's all he
That's
can
it.
go.
I like the way you move.
Is that what we're going out on? A little dancing, a little singing?
Morgan Freeman was born in 1937. He narrated his own birth, saying, "Leaving the warm comfort of his mother's womb, I, Morgan Freeman, enter the world. Soon I will make my first poop, one of many in the life of Morgan Freeman." The first time that Morgan Freeman saw himself crying in the mirror, he became old, and he remained that way his whole life. From then on, every time that Morgan Freeman cried, it rained. In heaven. When Morgan Freeman makes a documentary film, he narrates it first, and then nature makes it so. The only reason that the sun rises each day is because Morgan Freeman narrated that sunrise in his dreams the night before. The only reason that you're alive right now is because Morgan Freeman is narrating your life, as he does for billions and billions of others, each day. And when you have a bout of diarrhea, Morgan Freeman narrates it so that you appear noble, at the mercy of nature, and a taco. Morgan Freeman goes through 4 or 5 microphones a day because his voice turns them into bars of gold, which he uses to fund his quest to create a real Santa Claus. Morgan Freeman cannot be cloned because that would require unicorn tears. Morgan Freeman doesn't have sex. When he smiles, a baby simply appears in a field full of kittens. Earthquakes are merely Mother Nature having an orgasm when she listens to March of the Penguins. Penguins didn't exist until Morgan Freeman made that movie. He's that good. If you're having a rough day, think about Morgan Freeman, because he's certainly thinking about you. Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman, Morgan
All
Freeman.
that is 100% bound in reality and fact. Like there's nothing,
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing
100%
made
real.
up or.
Yeah.
It's on the internet for crying.
You know, yeah, it has to be true.
You know, it's almost like that whole perception thing. It's like the whole virtual reality or
I believe in Mulvihill.
It's like, you know, what is perception? You know, it's like what is time? I remember Dad used to say that time is the way that so everything doesn't happen at once. But maybe it still does.
What are colors? Like when I see red, what do you see? Is that the same thing? Do we both see red, or do we just agree that that's what red is?
I think the best example for that is, as far as our rods go, it's like when you see blue, maybe I see green.
When I say yellow, you say green. Yellow.
Green?
Yellow.
Green, but I think we both see red the same.
But we would never know. We never know because we don't have that frame of reference.
Yeah, you know what it's like until Elon Musk is going to put Neuralink in our heads, and then we can connect our brains, and it's like, oh, you saw orange, I saw red.
Orange.
Red.
Orange.
Red.
Orange. I am not sure why I have this video. I don't remember pulling this up, but this is Liz Matori? Is this something that you sent me, Steve, or something?
Dude, you know what? I think when we were watching one of your videos and you went outside to take a phone call, I think YouTube was on auto, and I think this was the next video after that.
So that's probably nothing we want to say.
Right.
No.
By the way, I got a Zillow lead on that call.
Yeah.
And I listened. I'll play it for you when the podcast is over.
Was it on Bun Street?
Huh? No.
Oh, best meat
on Hoover. But I went to answer the call, and like before I said hello, and I listened to the call, and the first thing I hear is you saying, "Fuck your mother" or something like that.
Morgan Freeman.
Dude, I noticed you all of a sudden went outside and I heard the door close.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, and then you guys immediately came right out there.
You got to think you got a podcast to do.
We did not speak, though, do we?
We're nailing it now.
Oh, we're killing it. Killing it. So,
all right, so we've got, I'm sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going to move it along and say, you know, with this COV-19 thing, are we ever going to get back to normal? And what is normal going to be like? And if we do have a new normal, what's our next generation going to be?
Well, I think you said it right. That there is going to be the new normal. We won't get, there won't, it's one of those lines in the sand. It's the 9/11. We're never going to go back to pre-9/11. There's going to be different security measures at the airports.
Right.
But this is even bigger because it affects our everyday lives. Like, if you didn't fly on the regs, 9/11 didn't affect you that much. I mean, yeah, a lot of people died. It sucked. We realized that we were vulnerable to terrorism. Like, we kind of thought we were isolated, insulated over here. But
yeah, who's going to attack us? Right?
Our day-to-day lives
DOD
didn't change that much. No, this is changing a lot more.
Yeah.
This is changing a lot more. So.
You know, the United States Department of Defense is the #1 employer in the world, and you know what? As far as acts of war, they got us. They got us good, and they changed the way we live our lives.
Explain
COVID-19. Well, it's like 9/11 was done very creatively with box cutters and people that
people buying airplane tickets and commandeering planes.
Right, changed America.
We should have saw that, but it was such a
How can you see that?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
Right.
I would like to argue that we should have been able to figure that out.
Well, didn't they say they had intel that there was going to be something?
Yeah.
And weren't some of those people on no-fly list? So I mean, they knew who they were looking for.
You know what? I would hope to think my government didn't do that intentionally to get more control over us. Matter of fact, I would actually
George
disagree
Bush
with
would
that.
Never do that. I mean, you know, before his father was president, he was only the what? Leader of the CIA.
You know what? I watched an old video from like the 70s, and George W. Bush. His name is actually outside the huge building of the CIA.
Yeah, he was.
He was the
He also owned the Texas Rangers, but I think that was
that was his son. That was his son. I was talking
George
about
HW.
Okay,
HW.
Yeah, there's an H in the middle of that.
Yeah. But you're right. It was Senior that was the
very powerful man.
Yeah, and then his wife looked like a man.
Well, dude, you know what? She was. I think she was an excellent woman.
Barbara Bush.
Barbara Bush.
So you're gonna go after George W. Bush's wife because she wasn't beautiful when she was 85 or 100 years old?
She was like 175 years old, but she looked like a man.
She knew Joe Louis.
She did know Joe Louis.
But you know what? I think she was a good woman. I never heard any bad things about her.
I never heard any good things about it.
Guess what? You're never going to be elected for president now because you just fucked up.
Do I care? I'm going to be king.
You can't be president. You can be king.
Yeah, because I'm the fucking president of George W.H. Bush / Barbara H. Bush fan club.
I love
America.
George W.'s
Europe.
reaction when we told him that there was an attack on the Twin Towers, and he just sits there.
Dude, he was reading a children's story.
He was at first, and then he just sat there with a blank look on his face.
Dude, what do you do if you're reading a children's story and somebody comes in and says, World War III just started, they're attacking our country?
Well, I mean, it's not World War. It wasn't World War III.
Well, it's like, you know what? It's like
it was a terrorist attack.
Yeah,
for sure. You can say it's a terrorist attack. You can't say it's the start of World War III.
You know what? It's like, I would say that was more of the start of World War III than fucking that one guy getting shot.
Sirhan?
No, the one that started World War I, the guy that got shot by taking a wrong turn, and the assassin happened to take a wrong turn too, and they met, and he shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was World War II, and it was Sirhan did the shooting, and he shot a...
No, I'm talking about World War I, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Echo, how did World War I start?
World War I was triggered by the assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary, by a Yugoslav nationalist on June 28, 1914. The cause of the war is widely debated, but the intricate set of public and secret treaties between the world powers is widely recognized as the mechanism that drew them into combat.
It's getting better. So here's the thing. Do you know that was actually a failed assassination attempt?
Yes.
And Sirhan had left this assassination of trying to assassinate Francis Ferdinand, went and got a sandwich, walked outside eating his sandwich, and the guy pulled up right in front of him.
Shit.
And his car died. He's like, well, fuck, it's back on. Boom, boom.
It's almost like a Dave Chappelle skit, or Eddie Murphy, where they're like,
Wayne Brady got hung.
Dude, but you know what it's like? Okay, that started World War I, but crashing two planes into the U.S.'s two biggest buildings in the World Trade Center and making them fall.
Well, here's the
problem. That's an act of war.
But
it was shooting somebody in the head.
It wasn't sponsored by any state. It was just random people from many. It wasn't state-sponsored terrorism, right?
Right.
So who do you retaliate against?
I believe it was the.
Yeah.
You know,
so there's nobody to go to war with, is my point.
Okay, now if we talk about different fronts of war and what's going on right now in our country, I've heard a lot of people talk that it's a civil war. And you know what? It's
no, it's a revolution.
There's nothing civil
okay, now
about
it's
war.
like, let me move with my premise. It's like our civil war had a front where it would move forward and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not the type of war that's being fought right now, if there is a war that's being fought. The war that's going on right now is more like Vietnam. There's several conflicts going on in different parts. And
okay, so it's nothing like Vietnam. What's going on right now is that we realize we are, as United States citizens, we're in a fucked up situation because we're not represented by the people that represent us. We've got to choose between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Right.
Last time we got to choose between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Fuck these choices. These are not good choices.
Yeah.
The Democratic and the Republican Party don't represent us anymore, and it's time. It's time right now for a revolution, and I'm on board. If anybody has an idea on a better system,
right,
let's do it, because fuck this. It's going to be at least 4 more years before we get any kind of change, because unless something's crazy happens,
that's like
the next 4 years is either going to be Joe Biden, doubtful, or Donald Trump.
It's going to be Trump again. Dude, that's like Mandingo walking in the room with an erection and saying, do you want to get fucked in your mouth or do you want to get fucked in your ass? Neither. I'm not going to vote.
All right. It is 6:55.
Did I take it too far then?
Well, I mean, I thought we were having a really relevant conversation about...
Well, you know what, a lot of people don't know who Mandingo is. But I was just making a reference about
who's Mandingo?
Mandingo is a male notable person and 45 years old. He was born on February 25th, 1975.
Echo, schedule him to come on the podcast next week. Get that done. Get that done.
I'm not sure.
Do that.
Amazon, order me a bottle of Astroglide.
What kind of personal assistant are you? Get Mandingo on the Moon Club podcast next week.
Hey, somebody on the phone.
Actually, Echo ordered me
personal
too.
assistant. She should be able to do that, right?
Right.
You would think.
Yeah. Work on that, Echo. Make yourself better. You're better than that.
She is better than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are giving her a lot of credit, though.
Well, I mean, I think
This
I
is
should be able to
AI.
ask my personal assistant to get Mandingo on the podcast. She was just talking about him.
Right.
She was just talking about him.
Obviously, they're friends.
Smitten,
Get him on the podcast.
Obviously, they're friends, and now she's not saying anything.
Right.
It's like smitten.
She's probably gagging right
Right.
now.
Probably.
Alexa.
This is Echo. Alexa's her sister.
Oh, yeah. I know.
She's her twin. I got two of them.
Tweens.
All right. I don't know how much we could play of I Like the Way You Move. I don't want to get us kicked off of...
Yeah, dude, that's definitely some math that I think an equation would pick up.
We call it an algorithm.
Semantics.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
I was just trying to help.
You're right.
I was just trying to
You're
help.
trying to make me a better person?
Yeah.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
But what we can do is tell all the lunatics out there to right now go check out this video. Because like you said, you almost forgot about Outkast. How can you forget about Outkast?
Well, I wouldn't say that I forgot about Outkast. I don't think I never really appreciated them
Right.
properly. Like, I knew the songs, yeah, and I maybe didn't know that all of the good songs were Outkast, but
And
that,
how the lyrics
I
broke
like
down.
the way
You
you
know,
move.
it's like I think they the best comparison to that is like of course everybody listens to Jimmy, but do you hear him?
Right.
And it's like I think I remember the first time when I got that reference. It's like
You
I
can't
heard
hear
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, what
No, I can hear Jimmy.
What originally blew me away about Outkast was the song Hey Ya, because I was learning how to play it on the guitar through a YouTube video, right? And I'm like, I remember this song. Yeah, it's a good song. But then when I listened to the song, I'm like, wait, this isn't a rock and roll song. This is a hip hop song.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. It's not really a hip hop song. It's Andre High School 3000 playing the drums. He played the bass. He played the guitar. And he played the backup singers as well, right?
Yeah, we call him a composer, right, brother?
I mean, I would call him a one-man band.
He's an artist.
Okay, he's
Very
a
much like
composer.
Prince.
Yeah.
He's a composer that's learned
much
his trade.
He's definitely a genius.
When you hear that, okay, I knew the song already, but when you hear that, realizing that one guy did all that,
Yeah.
okay, now I got a newfound respect for that.
And I do want to say, as far as like let's say Outkast music, that's some integral music. I mean,
Yeah, it's
it's
good.
not sitting down, somebody lacing something on a drum machine and having a rapper rap over it.
Right.
I mean, he's like you said, he's doing it all: composing the music, writing lyrics, and then performing everything.
Well, and
he
it's
is
also
a flippin' artist.
It's also what I love about Everlast, who like started out as a rapper, but he said, like, look, I don't want to be just a rapper. Like, I'm a musician.
Kid
I should be
Rock.
able to play rock and roll. I should be able to play hip hop. I should be able to, like, whatever I want to play is music. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to be stuck in one genre.
Right.
Right. So
You know what? It's like if you want to be a good musician, you should be a good bandit, like Robin Hood. Steal from everybody. You know what I mean? It's like you should. It's like because if you listen to Outkast, it's like you can hear country music in there. You can hear rock and roll music. You can hear like pop music. You can hear. It's like, dude, they draw no limits.
Where do I hear country music in Outkast? Maybe it exists. I don't know.
No, it definitely does.
They definitely have a southern sound to them, being from Atlanta. And stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's one
I
reason
can
why
agree with that.
like
Yeah. But I had a point and I lost it.
No, it's right there on the top. But bump. Oh.
Here's Top Knot.
All right,
it's
so
little
hey,
Fontanelle.
It's 7 o'clock.
Hey,
What
it's
should we
that
go on?
fucking time.
Should we go out on something?
Yeah, but we can't do it on that.
What can we go out on? Let's just go out with a bang. Let's all pull
Hold
up.
on. I think I can find.
I sent you Matisse Love. You can
Bert
definitely go down with her.
Kreischer, talking about he thought the word nightmare. Let's see if I can find this.
But you're saying he thought the word nightmare was.
MJ, I sent you the last Matisse Love song, and that's beautiful. It's about her daughter. I mean, I'm just giving you an opt-out, just in case you can't find that video.
It's a beautiful day, 78 degrees. It's and they'll be
But Steve, what we were talking about earlier, it's like you should probably get that looked at. How long has it been inflamed like that?
All right.
Well,
Where did you send me that
like-
Matisse Love song?
It's on Facebook Messenger.
It's about 8.5 right now, and
I can send it to you again real quick.
it's only been 3.5
Do it.
hours, so I think it'll be all right. And
Why did you, when you asked Steve if he was coming tonight, why did you spell it C-U-M-M-I-N-G?
I was just fucking, like, that's how funny I am.
I took it as I just finished off real quick and hurried over.
Okay, I sent it to you. This is a good one. This is about her daughter.
And who is this again? Also set it
Matisse
up?
Love. Matisse Ice Cold 3000. All right, here we go.
Peace out, lunatics.
Shout out to Matisse Love. And you can say what you want about Matisse Love. The girl can sing. That girl can sing, dude. Actually, I haven't thought about it. I'm sure she has it. I mean, I'm sure factually what you said is correct.
I never want to let you down. I hope you always come around. I hope you listen to the sound deep down, deep down, deep down.
Little thing gets some pretty good sound.
That tells you when you're right or wrong. That tells you when you don't belong. Don't let nobody steal your crown. You rule your mind, just kick them out. I never wanna see you sad. I'm always gonna be there for you. I adore you, I adore you. Whatever you're going through, you can come to me. Delilah Jean, you made my life complete.
Tony Connor's watching.
Filled me with absolute joy. My greatest blessing. Love so strong, impossible to be destroyed. I never want to let you down. I hope you always come around. I hope you listen to the sound deep down, deep
Podcast
down,
201 out.
deep down.
Peace.
That tells you when you're right or wrong. That tells you when you don't belong. Don't let nobody steal your crown. You rule your mind, just kick them out.
Matisse Love, everyone. YouTube version. We out.